Hey all, 1 second. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can turn down the volume. Uh, we will drop this down to 25. Great. Back to the game. So looking at our hand, wooded foothills, mulch, Treetop Village Sphere, Sphere, Sylvan Library Terravore. If I had any ramp instead of one of these spheres or instead of the mulch, I'd keep this one. The reason I don't want to keep this is one, it's a little slow. Two, it doesn't actually have any way to respond to them except spheres. So if they're anything fast, we just lost. Okay, everything kind of popped up. You can see what's going on. I'm going to mull. The London Mulligan is broken. Okay, we're going to keep this one because I don't want to mull anymore. We're going to discard the exploration. It's not good on this hand. We're going to go ahead and go. This is not the normal way to do it, I would like to point out. But I think we're okay to just drop Sylvan Library and rebuy our cards. So we're going to go Wasteland, Mox Diamond. The other one we could do a Sphere off the top. But if we do that and we don't draw into another land, we're in trouble. So I'm taking this opportunity to kind of just try to rebuy our hand, but with one extra mana in play. Okay, so we're going to see if they make us discard. They do not. Now, it would be really awkward if we don't hit a land off of these, so let's hope that doesn't happen. And here we go. We're now in some trouble, so we're going to go ahead and go all out on this and just try to guarantee we draw into a land next turn. Hopefully they don't have another land. I'm guessing that they do, but they don't have a 1-drop. So there's Tainted Field. So this is, in fact, Deadguy Ale. If they had duressed us turn 1, we'd be in... Actually, that's not true. There's really not a lot they... I guess if they had blown up Sylvan Library, it would have been a problem, but we're kind of okay. They're not the world's worst mana base, but they're also not a sturdy one. Okay, so here we have an interesting one. Do I put second sphere and then wasteland them, or just wasteland them? I think I'm going to play the second sphere. Oh, but I'd have to take another 4 life. Yeah, that's okay. Going all in on this plan. Is this a good way to do it? I don't know. But this means they can't disenchant our spheres, which is the real worry. And then if we can keep them off of lands with our wastelands, we're the control deck. We're the ones with the giant, 10/10 tramplers. We're just going to try and let Sylvan Library do its thing. I'd really like a fetch. Okay, this has to be... Oh, it's a Dark Ritual. That turned... I'm not sure that did anything. I think they thought it cost 1 less than it did. Okay. I was correct. Misplay by our opponent. Oh, thank God. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and start trading lands for lands while we play them. So we're going to blow that up. And then we're not going to F6 anymore because I'm going to hold up Wasteland. Or am I? So if I play my forest next turn, so they're on 3 swamps, I don't think they're going to have any plays. I think we can start paying 4 mana next turn and just start Winter's Grasping their swamps away. So we'll still look at the top of our library in case there's a fetch. There's not. Big chunky Terravores. We are doing the... Oh boy. Okay. So that's a problem. I'm going to go ahead and do the move I can and attack with with Treetop Village. I'm going to leave up Wasteland. I also miscounted what the spheres would do. So they might get a play in this turn, which would not be good for us. Hopefully they don't have enough lands for that, and we can get another land with library. This is why I value turn one-ing a library so highly, is you get to really go through your deck, and if you hit fetches, you have tremendous amounts of card control. Here we have a little less, but we're like, hey, let's look for a land, hey, let's look for a land, and we can actually find them, which is, important. Especially under spheres, like them missing lands is catastrophic for them. If we find a land now, I don't see them coming back this game. I don't think they'll ever have enough lands in play to play a single card. And here we go. We find the Mishra's Factory. We blow up the swamp. I believe that our opponent is out of this game forever. I don't think they're ever going to have a play except maybe a duress. If they draw a land, duress me with it. And we're going to, of course, just Winter's Grasp 2 more times before I play a Terravore. I'm not in a hurry. We are so far ahead on everything except life that there really shouldn't be any risk of us dying. Okay, see, they didn't hit the land again. They're going to go down to 1 swamp, which means they'll not be able to play anything at all. We're going to go ahead and we're going to sit on this wooded foothills and blow up a land. We want those Terravores, so we're not actually going to fetch at this point unless something crazy happens, but I think we're well past the dig your way out of the control lock phase of the game. They're even discarding removal. Yeah, there we go. So, their graveyard was some kind of... it's Deadguy Ale. I'm not sure why they're playing Smother in Deadguy Ale. They usually have better removal than that. They might be trying to lower their mana value for the deck. Deadguy Ale plays a lot of 3-drops. 3-drops are a little bit expensive in a deck like that. The bad news is we don't actually have a lot for Deadguy Ale. I've got Zuran Orbs, maybe. I have Black Vices. Black Vices would go in if I was taking out Oaths, but Deadguy Ale is a creature deck. So if they're actually like white-black control instead of kind of white-black mid-range, like Deadguy Ale usually is, then Oaths should come out, and I'd put in Vice. But usually they're actually a creature deck that uses a lot of creatures that do something on damage. So we're going to go ahead and just submit this. So the optimal game from our point of view is they have a 1-lander with a Dark Ritual. They Dark Writ in a Hypnotic Spectre. They miss their second land drop. We have a Mox Diamond, and we put an Oath into play, and then we just kill them before anything happens. Unlikely, but it does happen. Deadguy Ale can actually beat us fairly well if they get off the floor. If they don't get off the floor, they have some real issues fighting us. And so here we go. This is a classic. Our hand's a little bit slow, but it's not slow enough to keep. So this is actually a very risky hand. I'm going to take my point off the upkeep. It's not optimal to do that. Normally I should keep it up forever. They missed their turn 1, which means that we get to either Sphere or Oath. I think we're going to go ahead and Sphere unless they play a creature. Alright, let's see what they've got. They're going to make us discard 2. Okay, it's Gerard's verdict at this point. And we're going to drop Winter's Grasp and 1 Sphere. And we're going to go ahead and fetch on their end step because I don't want any more forests. What would be the best draw here? So the best draw at this point is kind of up in the air. It would probably be Exploration. We have a lot of lands in hand that would let us dump out our hand in a very optimal sort of way. That's not what I wanted, but I won't complain about it. Fetches are a lot better than a basic because they make the inevitable Terravores bigger. So right now we only have 2 lands in graveyard. Once these fetches are used up, we'll have 4 lands in graveyard without blowing up a single land. I'm not sure that they know I'm Oath. So if they Gerard's Verdict, we're discarding Basic Forest and the Windswept Heath, and then we're going to drop our Oath of Druids. I don't know that they know that I'm an Oath deck. We're kind of Brewer's advantage here. I'm hoping they actually blow up the Sphere, because the chances of them having 2 disenchants in hand are pretty low. And if they blow up the Sphere, it puts us back 1 land destruction spell, and it puts them back. Okay, let's see what they've got. Because they don't necessarily know that we have the single most powerful card. Yep, there we go. Perfect. This is the strongest card in pre-modern, and they just used their removal for it on something unrelated. So here I'm going to play Mishra's Factory. The ability to attack next turn is nice. We drop our Oath. So in a perfect world, they'd have played a creature and then I'd have Oathed. And they might have a disenchant. It's not impossible. But also, if they disenchant me now, like, they're a lot of turns behind. We're more likely to draw into good things in the end game than they are anyway. So I'm not that worried about it. But what was I saying? What I was saying is Oath is just phenomenally stronger. Oh, the last card better be Disenchant. You've got to disenchant me right now. No, okay. Yeah, so Oath is pre-modern's best card. That was not the best showing for Oath, per se, but it is still the best card in pre-modern. This is a free attack, I don't care. They might have a Smother, too, or a Swords to Plowshare. Smother would be fine, Sword to Plowshare would be fine, because we get to Oath again. I want them to go ahead and block this. I know that seems silly, but it makes the Terravore bigger. Alright, they do not fall for that. And I'm going to Mox Diamond and drop a Forest, just for Terravore being bigger sake. So Terravore is a 4/4 now. It'll be a 5/5 next turn after I've cracked both of our fetches. We didn't get any lands off the Oath, but that's okay. Okay, they play a Hippie. Unless they've got something for my Oath, everything they play makes us better. And well, I don't agree with this at all. Okay, so here's a question. Do I take this or snap it off? I can, you know what, I'm going to take the damage this turn. They could theoretically kill my Terravore now and just deal 2 to me. Is 2 that big of a threat versus the ability to just drop, like... So, there's 3 Terravores left in a deck of 44 cards. There's really no way to know how many lands are between me and that Terravore, but there's a good chance these are 8/8s, 9/9s, etc. We have 1 more forest left. We're going to go ahead and Oath. There's a small but real chance that there's a Terravore party at the very bottom of our deck or the very top. If it's at the very bottom, we can maybe even kill them this turn. This is a more normal distribution than I'm used to, but that's okay. So we'll attack. So we deal 7 damage. Or, yeah. We could have done 8 damage. That doesn't matter. I will block the shade because I have lethal anyway. And I don't want to take... Oh, okay. He's seen the light here. He plays his own Mishra's Factory. He or she plays their own Mishra's Factory. We're going to go ahead and fetch the last forest. That's what I was checking in my graveyard. Alright. And we drew the last Terravore hard. We're going to go ahead and just swing in with everybody. So if we get one more Oath activation, which I think this will be game this turn or next turn in our favor anyway, the last Terravore will probably make the others quite big. That's not going to happen. So they're... Okay, they're going to make their shade big, presumably, and then die anyway. Oh, I guess they can block with... Okay, now they take another swamp. They can go... They're 5/4. They can use another swamp. They can take some life. They can't take life. Because if they do, the other Terravore will kill them. Okay. Then you can activate your Mishra's Factory and block with that as well. That's fine. Okay. They elect... So we're going to just drop the other Terravore after combat. And he can chump block Nantaku Shade if he tries to finish me off. He can't actually finish me off, so it might... I'm not real certain that they have any outs here. They can survive a turn. That's not an out. Okay. So I still have lethal. There we go. They go down to dead anyway. All right. Good games, everybody.